Pre-Accident Podcast, coronavirus special episodes, just to keep our community informed. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Pre-Accident Podcast. Todd Conklin. This is the coronavirus blog. I don't know what you call it. I've not figured out what to call this. Lots of information coming at us about 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's almost hard to fathom how much change is happening and how quickly it's happening. It's testing everything and everybody. And all of us are right on the sharp end of this stick. And it's easy to look at it and sort of respond in a couple directions. That's what we should talk about. And that's today's coronavirus update, blog, podcast, whatever we call this. I want to share an email I got because I think that's the best way to sort of keep us communicating with each other. This is from Kim Weber. And the email starts out with some background information, and then it goes almost immediately into this. The fear, anxiety, and stress is happening due to the disruption and uncertainty, and nobody was prepared for this. Pandemic was not a word we used in our daily language. And now we're seeing workers sent home for 2 weeks, some without pay, because of sniffles. Social distancing has become social isolation, and yet other workers are fearful and struggle to supply their family with everyday supplies such as milk and toilet paper because of panic hoarding that has been happening in many regions. Staff are working from home because the kids do not have school or daycare, and this is contributing to lower production levels in a time when the demand on them is higher than normal because of the added pressure and processes around the prevention of COVID-19. Workers are still on site, staying in camps and gathering every day, but the office is closed. It does seem off, but we're doing what we can where we can. Some work sites are taking each person's temperature as they show up to work, when they can get to work. Travel's been completely shut down, and our clients are not allowing anyone on the site who's been in the airport in the last 2 weeks, putting an even greater strain on an existing workforce. They're sharing with us that they're seeing more motor vehicle accidents, that workers don't have their mind on task, and they're experiencing some lapses in judgment. Every break is filled with talk of this pandemic and the personal challenges. Second victims may be the events happening on site. Are we ready for pandemic-caused findings in our investigations? Are we doing enough? Are we doing too much? How will we know what the right response level is? As in safety, if we do everything right and nothing bad happens, what are we going to measure? If we flatten the curve, was it due to our efforts or because COVID-19 wasn't as bad as we thought? But here's the reason I read this letter to you, this last paragraph. And this is what Kim says. But what we can do is be nice to each other. Share supplies if we panic bought more than we need. Show compassion and courtesy to anyone still working, especially in the retail business where we buy our food and essentials for everyday living. Reach out to family and friends through Skype or FaceTime, especially those who are required to self-quarantine. Seek out government and local resources for funding and food. Play with your kids, call our moms and dads, and reach out to neighbors. Let's try to keep our humanity through this pandemic. I think those are really important words for you to think about. That's the comment for today. Learn something new every single day. Have as much fun as you possibly can. Be nice to each other. And for goodness sakes, be safe.